Good evening, and welcome to Mindset Shiftology on the Melting Pot Radio Network. I am your host, Daniel Trowick, and we are here for another beautiful Wednesday evening. It is extremely hot in Philadelphia. It decided to go up to 90 today. After, such a wonderful season of the up and down, the confused, bipolar, whatever you want to call it, weather that we've been having, I thought it was just like 50 a day or so ago, and it was 90 today. I'm not ready for this. I'm definitely not ready, but I'm ready. I have no choice but to be ready. So, I hope that after this long, hot day that we had here in the city, the beautiful, positive endorphin music did not put anyone to sleep. I think it almost got me, y'all. I think it almost got me. But this music is just so relaxing, and it really gets your mind in a peaceful state. So this is Mindset Shiftology. It's the study of the mind and shifting it into a more positive and a faithful manner. And in Mindset Shiftology, I teach different principles and techniques to help people be more productive in what it is that they do. And this show is all about one of the major aspects of the mind and the mindset and how to really be effective. And that's, the transparent aspect. Hearing other people's stories, hearing different things that other people faced in their lives and things that they've overcome. It definitely gives hope to those who may be lacking in hope. And that's what we always want to do, is to help those who may need help in whatever aspect of life it is to, reach that new level. And, transparency is very key and vital in that aspect, because hearing others get over things that you may be facing can definitely help you get over as well. And, we love to just shift people's minds based on the transparency of others. So that's what this show is all about. And tonight is no different. Our guest tonight is going to definitely blow your mind. Her passion, the things that she's faced, the things that she has overcome to get to the place that she is now, where she's helping others, it is very key. And I'm excited, y'all. I'm really excited because this is one of my favorite people. I told y'all in the post that she is definitely one of my favorite. I get it's a capital, all capital FAV, or right. One of my favorite spoken word artists and one of my favorite people. We go back to the first job I ever had in my life. Wow. But without further ado, I want to welcome Miss Neisha C to the show. Hey, now, I have no sense. I had to throw that in there. I just had to. Neisha, welcome to Mindset Shiftology.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said I appreciate you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, yes, most definitely. You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time out and joining us tonight. And I'm sorry I missed that because, as I said, guys, I am hot. It was hot today. And I was drinking water at the time that she was talking. And when you swallow at the same time that you're trying to listen, it just doesn't pick up properly. It didn't register for me. I'm so sorry. But Neisha, again, thank you for joining us tonight. And before we start this interview, Neisha, chocolate chip cookies. Oh my gosh, I love chocolate chip cookies. I know you love chocolate chip cookies. Hey y'all, listen real quick. So my first job that I ever had, I worked as an usher / concession cashier. I don't even know what the heck the title is, at Regal Cinemas in Burlington, New Jersey, right? And Neisha worked there, as well as my big cousin Naja, and I think everybody else that we knew. They were all working there. And Neisha used to work in the special area, not in the regular concession stand. She worked over there where the cookies and all the fancy stuff was at. And y'all, she used to make these cookies, man. Listen, them cookies was official. They were official. All right. I'm sorry. So let's jump into this. I had to set it up because people really need to understand. That's like almost 20 years. Wow, I feel a little
right.
old. No comment.
Almost. Right.
Almost. And she still sounds like she's about 12 years old, guys. So it's okay. It is okay. So we're just going to rock out. So, Neisha, please let everybody know what it is that you do. What's your business, and talk about what it is that you do, whether it's your organization, your spoken word. Just let everybody have it from the gate.
From the gate. All right. So, can you hear me? You can hear me all right?
Yes.
Cool. So, I am a spoken word artist. I go by the name Beautiful Disaster. And I have been writing since I was little, since you knew me. And when I moved to Virginia from New Jersey, I got into the world of spoken word. So then I started performing the pieces that I've written. And then it became a passion of mine to where, when people see me, they just assume, I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or what, but they just assume that I'll talk like lovey-dovey, roses are red, violets are blue, whatever. But I spit real stuff. So then it gets to the point where you go from underestimating me as a writer to asking me if I'll ghostwrite for you. So that's always fun. And I just talk about real things, like real life. So whether it's something that I've personally gone through or people that are around me or things going on in the community, and whatever inspires me, I write about it. And I don't sugarcoat it because that's what people need to hear, the truth. Mm-hmm. So it later became a point where after moving to Virginia, I moved here with my son. And then I had my daughter here. And then when it didn't work out with her father, so now I have these two children, and I'm just like in my 20s and, just recovering from a broken heart and all that good stuff. And I meet a gentleman, and we begin this relationship, and it just seemed like everything was perfect. So eventually I learned it wasn't perfect, and it became a relationship filled with domestic violence. So it started off like, if I look back, we were together for about 5 years, and when I look back, I used to always tell people the first year was cool, but I know in hindsight and knowing what I know now, there were a lot of red flags that I chose to ignore or just didn't know were red flags, and had I known that then, maybe I would have left, but I didn't. So then the second and third year was filled with verbal, mental, and emotional abuse, and then the end of the relationship, the fourth and fifth year, included all of the verbal, mental, emotional, as well as physical abuse. So through that, I just lost myself. I cut off my friends. I got rid of all my social media. I'm very close with my family, but it was easier to pretend that everything is okay because most of them are still in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you could just pop up at my house in Virginia and say, I'm checking on you, is everything all right? So many people, it's so easy to front on Facebook or whatever in a text message, and it's like, yeah, everything is good, And eventually it got me to a point where I was severely depressed, suicidal, just in a very dark place, and trying to figure out a way to survive through it. So I'll tell anyone what got me through it was my children, who didn't know what was going on. I didn't, because this person wasn't their father. I never had him. In all the 5 years, I must have known something was wrong, but I never had him around my kids.
Wow.
So my children and God, just like I remember times where I would pray to God to not wake me up in the morning. And then not only would I wake up, it would be like the sun shining in my face. My kids would be jumping on me, like asking me what's for breakfast. And I used to be angry at God, like, yo, I thought we had an agreement, and I thought we had a deal, and he let me know, like, I have a purpose. So one day, during that relationship, I stopped writing. I stopped performing, and one of the reasons I did was the person I was with, he gave me the ultimatum. He was very insecure with the attention I received at open mics, or when I performed. He was insecure about the male poet friends that I had, or any attention that I received, period. So he said, you have to choose me or them.
Wow.
So I chose him. Right. And this was my passion. Like, I love to do this. And then it got to a point where not only did I stop performing, I stopped writing. And I tell anybody why I stopped writing is because I felt like if I put it on paper, that meant it was real. That meant it was really happening because I'm so passionate about everything I write and so honest, brutally honest. If I was to write, my boyfriend just choked me today and I passed out, then it meant, like, this is really happening to me. So I start writing and everything. And then eventually I left the relationship. I left because, I went through broken bones, concussions, choked till I passed out, being called all types of names, like despicable, horrible names that I wouldn't call my worst enemy, and just on a daily basis, and being told you're worthless, you're stupid, nobody will ever want you, you got 2 kids, 2 different fathers, you're not married, you're this, you're that, just all these things, to where it became a point where I believed all of it. And after going through all of that, one day we got into an argument, and I have to put on, this was an interracial relationship, so it was like my first and last interracial relationship. But in the argument, he called my mother and my sisters the N-word. I don't know if I could, like, this is censored, so I didn't say it, but the N-word. And for me, that was the straw that broke the camel's back, because it was one thing for me to not stand up for myself. It was one thing for me to look at myself so low that I just took everything that he said. But it was another thing for me to not stand up for the women that I love most in this world, especially when they weren't here to defend themselves. So even after all the physical violence, emotional, the verbal, that is what made me leave. And then about 2 years after that, I told my story for the first time on stage via spoken word. And I wrote a piece about it, like part of my experience, and I told it on stage more of a like trying to release something and just stop being so angry and hurt and bitter and broken. I felt broken, and I broke down on stage. I broke completely. I couldn't even finish it. I don't even think I finished it. And the second time I did it at a different venue, I broke down then until it got easier, and people started coming up to me. I'm going through this too, or I went through this, or my sister's going through this. And then I started getting asked to speak, to perform and speak at various places. And then people started reaching out to me for help. So then it was more than I